Far Cry series is known for having a lot of iconic characters and storylines, not to mention some of the best and most iconic antagonists ever.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Not only do they draw you in, the stories that have been created for these games are made that much more memorable due to the fact that they are actually kind of realistic. Like for example, Far Cry 3. There have been numerous stories in the past of groups of friends going on vacations to small island countries and being kidnapped and or being held for ransom. That being said, does the newest game, Far Cry 6, fit into the franchise's collection of amazing games? In my opinion, yes. I really think it does, and here's why. Firstly, characters. Not only do we go back to being able to hear our character talk and interact with NPCs, after that was missing from Far Cry 5 and New Dawn, we also get the opportunity to choose if we want to be a male or female character to play as. Even though we had this opportunity in Far Cry 5, that was kind of pointless considering you were a silent character throughout the whole game. In Far Cry 6, however, you can actually see and hear your character in and out of cutscenes, which gives you the chance to become more involved and enveloped in the character you play as due to learning about their past and how they've developed over time. Moving from characters you play as onto characters you play alongside, Far Cry is infamous for giving us amazing storylines. They also give us amazing characters we get to know and care about from start to finish, and gives them the opportunity to play with our emotions. For example, Far Cry 4. This game gives us two leaders of the Golden Path, a rebel faction aiming to wipe out Pagan Min and his army, Amita and Sabal. And over time we see that these characters fight and go behind each other's backs to the point where near the end of the game, spoilers if you haven't played Far Cry 4, if you haven't, well, I'm disappointed in you, you're missing out. You have to choose to side with either Amita or Sabal and kill the other. But in doing so, you actually find out that they are actually the bad guys, and they start to show their true colours when the other is dead. Which then leads you to the end of the game's choice, kill or spare Pagan Min. Where if you kill him, that's it, the game's over. But if you do choose to keep him alive, Pagan explains that RJ's father killed his half-sister Lakshmana, who is actually Pagan Min and Ishwari Gale's child, which ties together the whole you're fighting for the wrong side feeling, and that is made even more clearer with the secret ending. Near the start of the game, when you go to Pagan's mansion, he tells you to wait while he goes to deal with some rebel groups in the area. If you simply just wait for Pagan to come back...
Oh! Fan-bloody-tastic. You, sir, are a gentleman. I sincerely apologise.
He takes you to Lakshmana, and then that's it. The game's complete. Far Cry 6 also has a lot of amazing side characters, including Juan, Clara, Philly, Talia, Bicho, El Tigre, and Yonron. These characters help fill and fuel the story forward as you meet and recruit all these characters in order to take on Anton Castillo at the end of the game. In addition to these characters, you are also introduced to 5 different amigos or companions. And I'm saying this right now, Chorizo is the best companion, hands down. Just look at him. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You are. Yes, you are. Moving on. You also have Guapo the crocodile, Chicaron the chicken, Boom Boom the dog, who I'm pretty sure is Boomer from Far Cry 5, but it could just be a reference. And finally, Aluso the panther. Which, all of these give you a different approach or a distraction in a mission where you need to quickly get past an enemy. Speaking of missions, Far Cry is known for its amazing story quests and even more amazing side quests, and Far Cry 6 cranks these up to 11. Around the map, there are multiple treasure hunts you can find, which will either reward you with a unique weapon, a Supremo, a Resolver weapon, or even parts of money for you to be able to buy and customise your own weapon. Which makes exploring a lot more interesting, and who knows, you could even find that one weapon that you would love using and use for the entire game. From side quests to the story now, the story has had some incredible missions, and one mission in particular gives off massive Far Cry 3 vibes. Near the start of the game, you are tasked with destroying Castillo's tobacco farms to help stop the production of Viviro, which sees you using flames to burn down the tobacco plants, which to many Far Cry 3 fans is all too familiar. With that game having a mission that sees Jason Brody being given a flamethrower to burn down baby Christmas trees. Yep, that's totally what they are. Baby Christmas trees. Anyway, one amazing mission in Far Cry 6 is the Hotel Defense mission, where you have to defend a newly captured outpost from Castillo's army, but after you think you have won, Castillo orders special poison bombs to be dropped on the hotel, and again, spoilers if you haven't played Far Cry 6 yet. These bombs sadly end up killing 2 amazing side characters, Yonron and El Tigre, which makes a lot of people angry and want to join Libertad to fight Castillo. We can't talk about Far Cry games without mentioning the antagonists. Far Cry is known for having some of the most amazing and in-depth antagonists of any game, and in Far Cry 6, that fact is no different. First off, in Far Cry 3, This game has some amazing side villains like Buck and Hoyt, but everyone knows that the real GOAT of villains in Far Cry 3 is the amazing Vaas. Vaas is one of the characters that is the heart of the game, and which made the game so memorable. With his angry psychotic persona and pure evil in everything he does, he is not only one of the best Far Cry villains of all time, but he's also one of the best all-time villains of any video game. Vaas could not have been brought to light or even have been kept in the game if it wasn't for the incredible performance from actor Michael Mando. Mando's performance as Vaas kicked him into stardom, and he's now even in big blockbuster films such as Spider-Man Homecoming as the rumoured Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion. Far Cry 4 is next, which gives us the incredible Pagan Min. Now, as I said earlier, Pagan isn't technically a bad guy in the end, but for the sake of this topic, we're still going to class him as an antagonist. Pagan is a very light-speaking character and plays a huge part throughout the whole entire game, whether that be talking to RJ through the phone, or even being all over the place on money, posters, and even radio broadcasts. This shows how much power Pagan has over Kirat and makes him an amazing villain. But again, I think the actor choice is what made the character so good. Played by the incredible actor Troy Baker. I mean, if you haven't heard of him, I'm pretty sure you've been living under a rock. He has played huge characters like Joel from The Last of Us, Bruce Banner in the new Avengers game, and is even the voice of Fortnite's Agent Jonesy, which, due to Baker's performance, has helped solidify Pagan Min as one of the most iconic villains in the Far Cry series. I'm not going to be mentioning Far Cry 5 as I haven't played it, so just to make this easier on myself and to prevent this video from being 50 minutes long, we're just going to be talking about Far Cry 3, 4 and 6. Speaking of Far Cry 6, the main villain, Anton Castillo, a man who's trying to help rid the world of cancer with the Viviro drug, uses Yaran citizens as slave workers to farm and produce the Viviro by spraying a chemical on the tobacco, which, while sprayed onto the plants, can produce a compound found to reduce cancer cell growth to a near stop. If humans are exposed to this gas in large amounts or over a large amount of time, this can instantly kill them or even give them hallucinations. Which makes Castillo a great villain, as he is a bad guy doing bad things to innocent people, but he's doing it to try and benefit the lives of cancer patients. Which, by the end of the game, again, spoilers, Castillo himself suffers with acute leukemia, and the Viviro drug he's mass producing has stopped working and would no longer reduce the spread of his leukemia. And again, he is another villain made iconic by the actor who plays him, Giancarlo Esposito. As many people will know, Esposito is most known for his role as Gustavo Fring in the TV show Breaking Bad, and his iconic death scene is one to be remembered. The story of the Far Cry games always sees your character take on massive missions and objectives to get to where they want to be, whether that be running around saving your friends and brothers in Far Cry 3, taking out Pagan Min's group leaders in Far Cry 4. These all lead up to the final confrontation with the antagonists. Every single one of these games have done the ending differently. In Far Cry 3, we see Jason take out both Vaas and Hoyt, but the final choice comes in the form of you choosing to either kill your friends and stay in the Rook Islands, or spare them and return home. But when it comes to the villains, you are forced to kill them. Far Cry 4, however, gives you the opportunity to either keep Pagan alive or kill him, but this is a choice you have to rethink after the events of either killing Amita or Sabal. If you kill him, the game ends, like I said earlier, but if you do spare him, you get information on how Pagan was always actually trying to help Ajay and not kill him. But in Far Cry 6, that all changes again, which gives the game a sense of being unpredictable and never being able to know how the game ends until you actually beat it. And be warned, major spoilers ahead if you haven't finished Far Cry 6 yet. The game sees you finally storm Esperanza and confront Castillo and his son Diego. Castillo talks to Danny about when he dies to look after Diego, and as Danny promises to do just that, Castillo calls you a liar, shoots his son in the chest and slits his own throat, giving people a genuine shock and surprise to the end of a great villain. So that's it. Those are my reasons on why I think Far Cry 6 fits perfectly into the collection of Far Cry's incredible games. I'm sorry for there being a lot of spoilers, but realistically without them the information would have been impossible to share. But other than that, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like and maybe leave a comment talking about your reasons on which game you think is the best. And also, while you're at it, feel free to subscribe to keep up to date with the other content from other amazing people we have on the channel. Anyway, this has been Aaron from Adamo Gaming, and I will see you next time.